Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Let's go ahead and jump in. So if you're new around here, you may be unaware that ADA is and has been for the last several years my primary hedge against Ethereum. I don't see it overtaking Ethereum, but I see it having its own role to play within the market cycle. And when it comes to ADA, we said expect pullbacks, right? We're not going to go through an entire cycle without substantial pullbacks in the market. But what's interesting is if you only ever showed me the price of ADA, and all I knew of the market was limited to the ADA USD chart, I would be shocked if you if you showed me this chart. And I also knew that it stayed like this despite a 55% pullback in the price of Bitcoin. Now, right now, the price of Bitcoin is about 50% pulled back from the prior all-time high. But again, if I were operating under the constraints of only looking at the ADA USD chart, I'd probably say, what bear market, right? I would. I mean, I probably would just say, what bear market? This is just natural volatility so far. Now, one of the things we've discussed with ADA is, to some degree, the move to 250 was somewhat fortunate because it happened right before the major pullback, and then the hit that ADA took it from that 250 mark, not really the valuation it had been range bound between for a number of months. So, I mean, we're still trading at prices that we were trading at in February, March, and April, and even May. Okay, so to look at ADA and see how well it's just held up over the last few months, I look at it and say, well, I mean, it's proving to be a great hedge against Ethereum. Obviously, Ethereum has had some downside volatility as well. Remember, if you guys aren't staking your ADA, I would encourage you to go stake it, and go stake it with the ITC2 stake pool. Okay, so go earn interest on your ADA if you're not currently doing so. You can find a link to a video about how to do that in the description below. Now, one of the things we should do when we talk about altcoins is we have to take into consideration their valuation against Bitcoin and Ethereum. And again, if we don't do that, then we're only looking at part of the picture. Okay, so this is the ADA USD valuation. The ADA Bitcoin valuation looks like this. And we've basically been in a general uptrend now for quite some time, essentially since December of 2020. The ADA Bitcoin valuation broke out, and since then ADA against Bitcoin has had one hell of a run. The local top for the ADA Bitcoin valuation is from the current area is another 38% move to the upside. So for a constant Bitcoin, a 38% move, which really isn't all that much considering how far Bitcoin has dropped, would just take us back to the 160, 170 price area. So again, when we look at this market and we look at this chart, it is somewhat remarkable that ADA is holding up as well as it is. I told you guys a few videos ago, or probably the last time I spoke about ADA, that I would generally expect the ADA Bitcoin valuation to continue bleeding during market conditions like the ones we're seeing, right? Like the ones we're seeing where you have a sideways Bitcoin well below the 20-week SMA. And of course, it's not necessarily a popular theory, but I mean, you can see that the ADA Bitcoin valuation has been bleeding a little bit here. Now, that's not to say it has to continue bleeding, but rest assured, if Bitcoin continues this game of putting in lower highs and whatnot and a general downtrend, then it will be hard for ADA to maintain its valuation against Bitcoin. With that said, I'm still very impressed with how ADA has held up, and it has instilled in me even higher hopes for what ADA's price action can accomplish whenever we do return to a more bullish scenario. Now, again, we said expect a summer lull in the market at the very least, expect prices to kind of slump for a while. When you have as big of a move to the upside as we saw, especially in early 2021 for a lot of altcoins, it's hard to sustain that every single month. So having a substantial pullback, at least in a consolidation phase, is somewhat needed in order to justify higher prices later on that the market can believe. The problem, in my opinion, with the market going up so quickly, because I do think that later this cycle, which I believe will extend far out beyond the end of the year, the general issue with it continuing to go up is that market participants will probably have a hard time believing that the price action is sustained. Now with ADA, you had people buying it at 2 cents, okay? We were covering ADA on the channel at 2 cents. And so the issue with this is that the sell pressure from the people that were buying it at 2 cents, it's only just, it was probably sky high when it was at over $2, because these people are literally up 100 times. And 100x is not, it's nothing to just, take lightly. So by consolidating for a while, I think it will provide some level of comfort whenever we do push back up to the upside. Now you might be wondering, ADA has held on to its stablecoin status, as we've joked about for a long time. I've been joking for 6 months now that ADA is a stablecoin pegged to about 120 with slight oscillations on either side. I say that, but in these market conditions, a stable altcoin is about as good as you're going to get. So I think that's actually one great thing that ADA has going for it. The other thing we should take inventory of is the ADA Ether valuation. Still looking really strong. And we discussed the implications of this for a long time. Okay, these local tops. We even covered ADA substantially when it went to this local top over here. And then when we came up to it over here, I said if a set of market conditions exist that allow the ADA Ether valuation to go back above it, it would be the market conditions that we saw in early of 2021. And we did go back up to the upside. We didn't quite make it to where we had before. But right now, we're still actually above the prior local tops that we saw in April of 2018, April of 2019, and July of 2020. So now we're in July of 2022, and rather than coming up to these levels, we're actually slowly going back down to them. So you can see that the ADA Ether valuation has gained substantial ground over the last several months. I think that'll wrap it up when we just covered the ADA USD, ADA Bitcoin, and ADA Ether valuations. Hopefully it was informative. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel and give the video a thumbs up. We also do have the sale on the premium list. If you've been waiting to lock in the lower rate, make sure you go do that at intothecryptoverse.com, or if you want the sale price, check out the description below. Remember to go stake your ADA with the ITC2 stake pool, and you can find a link to that as well down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and I will see you next time. Bye.